Hello, hello, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the weekly clinic of Save Art Your Salons. This is part of the SOS Salon coaching program, and the weekly clinics that we're doing each and every week are part of the framework here that we have, the SOS framework, which is strategy, opportunities, and success. Okay, so being able to create some strategies to finding those opportunities so that you can have the success that you need. And then of course we're really working within our SUM framework and the success formula there, which is always making sure that we're tapping into these 5 categories of salon success, which is sales, operations, mindset, marketing, and education. And today's sales clinic is on the sales category. So let's get started today. All righty. Okay, so we're going to talk about increasing your sales speed. All right. So I want you guys to think about this. And again, I'm not an expert sailor. I got certified. I love being on the water. I love being a part of the sailing community. Jeff and I have had a sailboat. As a matter of fact, we might have another sailboat coming into our future here. So I'm excited about that. And one of the things that I learned is that, you have to be able to make sure that you position the sales in a particular manner in order to capture the wind. And then sailing in itself is a push-pull strategy. Okay, so it pushes the wind into the sail, which then pulls the boat to propel forward. And as the winds change, the sails need to change. As the current changes and islands come in front of you, like if you're sailing and then you've got land and islands around you, then that's going to impact the wind. And then of course, in order to get anywhere from a sailing position, it's not a straight line. Okay, so it's a zigzag format. So you're creating opportunities to be able to have the sails up. And if you want to get to a destination that's over to your starboard side or your port side, then you are going to create a opportunity to switch the sails to go the other way. And everything is a zigzag format. I want you to think about sales in your salon in that same terminology here, that nothing is a straight line. You're going to zigzag an opportunity to be able to create more sales. And that zigzag opportunity that we're going to talk about a little bit is really looking at the internal strategy you're going to put together and the external strategy that you're going to put together. And in that opportunity, hang on, you guys, I gotta stop my backup because it always starts the minute I start being active. Okay, there we go. In this zigzag formula, this strategy formula, it's an internal and an external opportunity to be able to powerfully make those connections that you want to make, okay? All right, so let's look at our strategy first of all. So here's the SUM framework: sales, operations, mindset, marketing, education. Each week, we're going to be talking about one of these topics and work through the opportunity to be able to see where do you need to put your focus and attention? Where do you need to be? Today, we're focusing in on the sales category, which is actually one of my favorite categories. I'm like one of those weird, freaky people that I love public speaking. I love sales. I love leadership. I am fascinated by that because the truth is, in all of those arenas, it's making a connection with somebody and then having that ability, that emotional intelligence, and that human dynamic is present within all of those 3 types of things. Okay, I mean, just like standing behind a chair and doing skills as well. There's a lot of emotional intelligence and a lot of strategy applied to that. Okay, here's what we know for a fact. There's only 2 ways to increase sales, right? Do you know this? You should, because I talked about this on another sales clinic. 1, find new clients. Okay, are you getting new business into your salon? Are you nurturing the new business that you're getting into the salon? Is there an incentive for them to come back? How are you creating a unique or special feel for those new clients? Are you asking for reviews from those new clients? So let's just start at the top here. Are you getting new business? So you should be able to be tracking each week or monthly but I'm going to recommend you look at these numbers weekly. You should be able to determine if you're getting new business each week and how many of those people are you getting in. And if that is the case that you're getting new business in, how are you nurturing them? So if they've come in as a new client, they've gotten a service, they've left, the next week, what are you doing to tap into them? Are you sending them a review? Are you sending them a bounce back coupon of some sort to be able to book another appointment with you in that 4, 6, 8 weeks out, depending on what type of services that they've come in for at this point, or maybe introducing them to a new service? So that would be the incentive that you're doing that. How are you making them feel creative and unique, or making them, creating them to feel unique within the salon as a new client? Now, I know pre-COVID, one of the things that, and a lot of salons do this, and I love the idea of this. We were actually just getting started with it pre-COVID, where new clients have a different color cape. And so everybody in the salon knows that if that particular color cape is on the client, that's a new client. And it seems like there's this extra friendly opportunity to connect with that new client. So the front desk is aware that they're a new client. They're probably setting up the situation for that particular client colored cape to go into the hands of the stylist. And then everybody that's in the salon sees that it's a new client, and they just kind of like, hi, how are you today? Oh, that looks great. And just kind of doing that extra little bit, especially now, because we're not, offering them beverages, for a sense. We're not offering them magazines to be able to look at. So there's got to be that little extra kick that you're doing to make that new client feel like they're really special in that salon. And then, of course, I always recommend, after you have new clients, to be able to send a review. So that might be a way that you're nurturing the business, is following up with, how was your experience with us? And, we'd love to have you, we'd love for you to share that with us, and we'd love to have you back. Complete this review and get $10 off your next service when you book it. Or, here's a bounce back coupon to be able to get a free home maintenance sample kit next time you're in. Something to be able to entice them to come back in. Okay. So there's our new clients. We're finding new clients. We're going to talk about a strategy of new clients here before I close out. And then, of course, we know that the second way to increase sales is to sell more to your existing clients. Now, this is actually a lot easier. But we kind of lose the impact with this. Okay. So if we've got these clients coming in and we know that they get a touch up, and then they get a, partial highlight, and then they book, another 8 weeks out type of thing, we kind of get really stuck in a pattern with our clients. And this is the time to be able to break up that pattern. This is the time now to be able to look at some different strategies. And strategy one is, do you have a clear and defined upgrade list? In other words, are your stylists aware that all of these things are considered upgrades? The toner, the gloss, the conditioning treatment, we have like renewal remedies. We have, obviously there's add-on sales and there's upgrades. Upgrades would be like that full-on service that you're doing that you can do right then and there with the client. Going maybe from a highlight to a balayage technique, we consider to be an upgrade service. Of course, a client can book a balayage technique, but let's say that they haven't been formally introduced to it. So then this would be an opportunity for them to be able to upgrade into a balayage service. Okay. And then having that priced out. So if you're upgrading them, you're also including the pricing in that. So, our renewals remedies treatments are right now on special for $30, regularly $40. And we have 3 different formulas. I'm going to recommend the color protectant formula on you today so that we can have your color last as long as we possibly can, because I know you're waiting a little bit more in between your appointments at this point. So even if that client is not coming back as often, I'm creating an upgrade opportunity for her to be able to still spend more money with me, so that it's not like, 8 weeks and then she comes back and spends the same amount of money, 8 weeks and she spends the same amount of money, where it used to be 6 or 7 weeks type of thing. So I'm upgrading her in that moment to be able to have her spend a little bit more money if she's extending her appointment times. Okay. Do you promote a special upgrade each quarter? Okay. So we just came off of our renewal remedies, and that was just for a month, but we're actually going to do an incentive now going into October for another upgrade. service, and we'll finish that particular upgrade service out for the rest of the year. Do you offer special promotions each month to offer to clients? Incentives, retail, services, a particular technique, a particular new service, something like that, okay? Is your front desk confident enough to be able to help you create that sell-through? So sell-through on the phone of when they're booking appointments, or sell-through with retail as they're exiting the salon after their services. And if not, that's another strategy that you might need to put together, which I think anybody that has front desk, you really need to have scripts set up for the front desk, because usually they're younger people that are not that socially confident yet to be able to create those kind of conversations. So we create a lot of scripts for that. All right, so how are you in a crisis here of being in a sinking ship? How? Because you're in a crisis because no one was expecting our business to drop the way that it did. No one was expecting any of this. And the truth is we went into two different categories, okay? But we didn't have systems in place to be able to recover fast enough is what the problem is. So we want to be able to look at, for the rest of 2020 and 2021, the first quarter of 2021, is implementing some strategies that are going to help us to be able to build some consistent business and get things back on track. And the more systems and strategies that we can have in place, the faster we're going to be able to get back up to speed, rebuild our business, or at least get out of survival mode with our business, okay? Now, we might have done one or two things. We might have been resting on our boat, not thinking that we needed new strategies pre-COVID, okay? And we're just saying, hey, everything's good. The business is good. I've got my team. I've got people moving. I've got clients coming in. And then all of a sudden COVID happened and we lost stylists. We lost employees. We may have not brought back some employees. We may have not brought back some front desk in order to reduce overhead and costs. But what we were doing is we were just kind of like being complacent with the type of business that we had at that point. We might have been moving so fast, but not necessarily moving forward. Okay, we might have been like, stuck to that mooring ball for a little bit longer than we intended to be. And we hadn't planned on COVID happening and getting shut down and then having to rebuild ourselves back up again. So there was one scenario. The other scenario might have been that we were moving at record speed to keep up with everything that we're doing. You might have been you might be running a very busy salon where everything seems to be working, moving, but not necessarily in a particular direction. In other words, each and every year, to be able to focus on some new strategies, some new systems, some new ways to increase business, new ways to create value, recognition, direction, and appreciation to your clients and your team. Okay, because what happened in this scenario is we were just plugging along, moving along, being a very busy salon, and then all of a sudden COVID happened and we weren't prepared. We didn't realize slowing down could create such an impact. And the truth is, you guys, is that the mindset of all of us right now is still not back up. We might have business coming back around. We might have our stylists showing back up in our business, but our mindset is still a little off, okay? And this being an election year is not making it any easier for us to be able to just kind of really hunker down and focus in on business strategies. There's still a lot of upheaval. There's still a lot of unpending, concerns for people. And I know we're all feeling it. So we have to be able to look at, if we were moving that fast before and things were good, how do we move that fast again, but with a great direction, with a strategic process, being able to look behind us and make sure that it's worth going that fast and it's worth building it back up again like that. Because I can tell you what's happening right now is there feels like there's a lack of value for clients and team, feels like there's a lack of recognition. We're just kind of like plugging away with our clients and we're not making them feel special. So, we're in this mode right now where it's like, okay, guys, COVID is still there. It still exists. It might exist for a much longer time. Yes, there is, political unrest going on all around us. Yes, we have kids in school or not in school, or learning from home, or now having to transfer into live classrooms. We have a lot of uneasiness that's going on, and uncertainty that's going on. And right now there seems to be, that where the client doesn't feel very appreciated or recognized, and the stylist and your team may feel the same way. So we have to be able to look at how can we appreciate more, provide better direction, give better recognition, and increase the value of what we're offering, and to be very values driven in the end of our business at this point in time. Okay, so these next few slides came from a webinar that I did, which is what I'm going to be sharing with you next week. The homework you're going to do next week is to go back and listen to the webinar so that you can get some ideas on how to be able to 50 ways to save your salon. All right. So this is the sales part of that webinar that I'm going to bring to you. There's also the operation, mindset, marketing, and education. So you got a whole lot more ideas on those 50 ways that if you go back, I'll send you the link next week. That will be your homework for next week. Is the clinic will be for you to watch the webinar, and I'll give you the link to that and everything. So let's look at some things that we can just kind of ponder at this point and see, are these areas of opportunity for us right now? So one, review your leadership strategies, okay? Where are you leading a sales conversation? Are you having expectations? Are you measuring and monitoring an opportunity for sales to be the focus? Okay. Are you putting together strategies that you're expecting not only your team to follow through on, but again, pushing your team in a way that is helping them to be able to make more money, helping them to be able to get back into where they were before, okay? And then pulling clients in to want to ask for more, pulling clients in to offer more to them at this point. So first thing you need to do is review your leadership strategy. Is it on target with the growth potential that you want? Okay. And then the next one is review all transactional products and services that you sell. So one of the exercises that you'll do in this webinar is you will make a list of every single thing that has a price tag to it, okay? And then you're going to make a list of every single thing that becomes a valued option, all right? Why would they come to you? You're convenient, it's easy parking, you have a diversity of staff to be able to do an amount of diversity in skilled hair. You're easy to access. You're available. You're open 6 days a week or 7 days a week or whatever that is. So you're going to review everything that is transactional, from products to services, retail, everything. Now, you don't have to list every single retail item that you sell. You could do it by categories, brands, or whatever. So if you sell, Orbay, Orbay would be the brand. If you sell Goldwell's kind of broken up into two or three different brand categories. So, there's the Dual Sense, and then there's the Carasilk part of it. And those would be the retail line, say. Then in the services, haircuts, highlights, retouches, balayage treatments, toners, conditioning treatments, smoothing treatments, relaxing treatments, perms. I know perms are coming back, especially for the younger generation. They're getting perms. So all of these things, list them out. Look at your pricing structure. Is it all cohesive right now? Does there need to be some adjustments in what you're doing? And then, of course, to be able to review that selling process. So if you're going to increase your prices or you're going to switch up some of your menu items a little bit, review the selling process of how you're going to be able to do that. The next one is review your relationships with your manufacturers and distributors. How are they supporting you right now? Now, I can tell you that distribution took it hard during this time. If they weren't selling products, it was very difficult for you to get products. Whether you ordered from them or whether you shopped in the stores, there was a lot of products not available on this. So, go back to your manufacturers. If you have a good relationship with your manufacturers, go back to them and be able to say, how can we make sure that I'm not out of certain products that I'm out of? Or what do you have to offer me that I can do as an incentive to continue to promote, move forward, create some extra opportunities of margins on my side. So I know that here's an example with Goldwell. We have Salon Alliance points, and we're able to use those points to purchase certain products, back bar products, so that it's helping to offset our costs. We actually did some retail products recently and then converted that into a promotion. So we had a much higher margin on those products that we were selling to be able to help the bottom line. But there's all kinds of things that we can use the Alliance points for. So check with your manufacturer, see what you have available to you, see what they can help you put together in there. And then, of course, review your points and incentives with your vendors. Take advantage of them now, especially if it's a use it or lose it scenario. Just like the airline said, if you were a gold status, then you're going to continue to be a gold status through the rest of 2020. But 2020, things haven't gotten better here. So are those airlines going to offer your gold status going into 2021 as well? It's that same thing. Look to make sure that if you have points and you're not quite sure how to use them, that you ask that they are still valid for 2021 until you can put something together that makes sense as a strategy to be able to increase your sales. And then, of course, one of the other things that we're doing right now, review your retail shelves. What is selling, what is not? So I just ran a report of everything that's sitting on our shelf, and then looking at it. If we've sold less than 6 in 6 months, it doesn't need to be a product necessarily that is sitting on our shelf. Now, we still have access to it. So if a client is wanting it, we can do a special order for it, and then, still have that product come in, because these are still lines that we're carrying. But we need to maximize our shelves. We need to maximize our turns, and we need to maximize the ability to sell through the things that are selling, versus having shelves full of products that are collecting dust and costing us money for the longer that they're sitting there. All right. So at this point, you need to be able to kind of look at a sales strategy, a sales plan. Maximum value, minimal cost. Okay, maximum value, minimal cost. So this is which I'll show you in the end, because I put a sales plan together for you guys as just an example. And it took me just, mere minutes to do this sales strategy. So sometimes you just have to take the time to be able to do it. All right, so what's now in the sales strategy? What may, right now, may just be research and notes, email messages, updates, checking in. Check in with your numbers, check in with your team, check in with your vendors. Look and see where there's areas of opportunities, especially as we're going into our busy season, which we're all hoping, of course, will be a busy season. And that we will have that increased sales in there. And so then be able to look at what's next, what's next in, the hours that you're open, what's next in preparing for sales promotions, what's next in planning for 2021. And then remember, since we're still not out of COVID and COVID is a huge priority, remember that you're selling safety as well as selling services, as well as selling retail. Okay, don't forget to promote the fact that we are still in the business of selling safety in there. All right, so let's look at our sales opportunities here. If we know we must find the right angle for the wind to get into the sales for that push-pull effect, then we must look for ways to push sales and pull them in. So we're going to look for holes in our reporting right now, in our sales strategies, and we're going to find ways to either repair or renew this sales strategy in there. So I want you guys to just run some of your reports, okay? Run, September, because we're coming to the close of September. So let's say that you're going to run a September report 2020 compared to a September report 2019, or you might do a February report of 2020 and to see, what's not happening right now. What you're going to do is you're going to find opportunities in those reports from when sales were up same time last year or pre-COVID, and you're going to look for things that people are not buying anymore. So if your retail's down, create a retail incentive. If your time between haircutting is down, create an incentive for people to pre-book with you so that they come in at that 6 weeks instead of waiting 8 weeks. Let's say that you had an enormous amount of male clients in your business, and now all of a sudden you're noticing from this year to last year that your male clients are down. Okay, that you're 20% down by male clients. Do an incentive or a promotion just for men. Okay, just to be able to get the men back, because I can tell you they got lazy. They started wearing their hair a little bit longer, or they were buying clippers online or from Walmart.com and doing their own hair, or somebody in their family was doing their hair, because depending on how long you were closed, where you're at, you know, that was the determining factor. But just like fashion, when things like this happen and alter our existing way of doing business, then trends change. So I think that where men have been really, really wearing close cuts and you know, ultimate fades and shorter versions of their hair and really clean parts, I think we're kind of going to be going into a little bit more of a shaggy, longer version of hair. And of course, this is not on your, you know, your clients, your male clients that are typical business people. They're probably getting their hair done somewhere else, or somewhere cheaper, or somewhere that it's easy for them to get in, or they're doing it home. But you can see trends are going to change based on this particular scenario of COVID, okay? So there's a lot of clients that are not coloring their hair anymore. They're going back to their natural gray. That's a trend right now. Men are starting to wear their hair a little bit longer, a little bit more on the neckline, a little bit more over the ears, you know, and women are wearing, getting a little bit less done to their hair. So balayaging technique is still on the rise because they don't have to have it colored quite as often in there. All right. So you're going to create a campaign on one of these items that you see in your reporting that's kind of standing out to you. Just one. You might list 5 areas of opportunity, but the truth is 1 is all you need to do right now. And you're going to do 1 for 30 to 60 days, or, you know, whatever that looks like, maybe not necessarily longer. Okay. And you're going to create a campaign around this to create awareness. And there's going to be 2 parts to this particular campaign. So we're going to use, say, smoothing treatment as an example. All right. Maybe with the smoothing treatment, you're going to offer a free haircut. Or maybe there's going to be a gift with purchase, that they're going to get a deluxe sample of a shampoo and conditioner in order to maximize the smoothing treatment type of thing. All right. So there's the internal campaign to the team. You're going to let the team know that this particular promotion is valid. You're going to let the stylist know ways to be able to sell it. You're going to let the front desk know, here's scripts when people are calling up and asking for a haircut, and just say, hey, we're having a special right now where if you get a smoothing treatment, you get a haircut for free. I see that you've had smoothing treatments in the past. Would that be an option for you? Or maybe they've never had a smoothing treatment. And one of the things that you say is, we're doing a special right now with a free haircut with a smoothing treatment. Have you ever considered having your hair smoothed out? It's not a relaxing treatment. It's a smoothing treatment. It just adds fullness in body, but allows your hair to dry 50% faster. Also gives you a smooth, sleek look to be able to save you time in the morning, okay? And they're like, oh, I never thought about doing that. Maybe I should try that. Well, I have color treated hair right now. Is that something I can do? Absolutely, you can do this on color treated hair. So then they're upselling on the phone. Now, again, this takes a very sophisticated and very, you know, savvy front desk to be able to do that. But if you script it out, it can work, all right? So they're pre-booking this as a next service. They're booking it as an existing service because they're calling up and asking for a haircut. Okay. And then of course the external part of the campaign is how you're pushing it out to share it with the client so that they start asking for it without internally having to sell it. So it could be an external email or social media campaign on smoothing treatments. All right. And now remember, the pull action is to pull them in by solving problems you know that they have. Okay. Create incentives, limited offers, and time-sensitive promotions to be able to pull them in, get them coming back in more often, get them coming back in faster, get them coming back in and spending more money with you while they are in. All right. So these are all opportunities that you're catering to existing clientele, but also, in this case, you could be catering to new clientele with the external campaign here. All right. So let's say that we're still working on the smoothing treatment. Here's the checklist we're doing for the front desk. So you're going to say to the front desk, anyone calling in for a haircut, offer them a smoothing treatment where they get a free haircut. Look on their profile as they're telling you who they are, if they've had any smoothing treatments in the past. If they haven't, introduce them to a smoothing treatment. All they can do is say no. Okay, all they can do is say no. Any past smoothing treatments that you've had over the last year or 6 months, say, call them and let them know that you're doing a particular special right now. Say, hey, I know that now obviously you need to check to make sure that they're not already on the books coming up in the next 30 to 60 days. But call any of these past people and just say, hey, we just wanted to let you know that we're offering a special in the smoothing treatment. I see that you've done that in the past. Would you be interested in booking that again? Maybe it's pre-booking a smoothing treatment for the next time. So this is, again, going to take the internal stylist support with you, with the front desk, to be able to say, the stylist is saying, we're going to go ahead and pre-book them a smoothing treatment for 2 weeks out. Okay. And then you're going to help them to create that pre-booking. And then, of course, on confirmation calls, share that there is some kind of special that you're having right now. It's like, great. Yeah, we'd love to have you in for a haircut. Hey, by the way, we wanted to let you know that we're doing a special on smoothing treatments right now. Okay. And you're just going to let them know it. You're not selling them on it. You're just informing them, creating awareness. So maybe when they come in, they ask the stylist about it. Or maybe they even ask you about it while you're on the phone with them. Oh, yeah, I had that done before. I haven't done it in a while. Maybe I should consider doing that. What's the special? Okay, you're just creating a dialogue, a conversation to be able to help support some of that through. All right, here's the checklist for the stylist. Okay, so again, we're talking about the smoothing treatment as an example. So the stylist is going to say, has your hair been especially unruly lately? How long does it take you in the morning to do your hair? Would you like to be able to speed up that process? Have you ever considered a smoothing treatment? Let me share with you how it works. Or let's book you out for 2 weeks for that smoothing treatment, because I know that you expressed interest in that. Those are some great questions to be able to engage with the client, to be able to upsell them, come back sooner, spend more money with you. Okay. All right. And here was an ad that I did, again, around the smoothing treatment. You guys, it took me 5 minutes to do this ad in Canva. And if you need help and support in Canva, talk to me about that in our next session. And we can look at ways and additional ways that my organization, Brand Me Agency, can help you with these type of promotional opportunities. Okay. Or we can extend our coaching program to be able to help you with how to do Canva yourself. All right, so here's the ad. Looking for a smoother morning hair ritual? Now, call now to book a keratin smoothing treatment. Reduce your blow dry time by 50%. Have smooth, shiny, silky hair for 12 weeks. Receive a free hair maintenance kit with your service through October. So you're creating a pull-in promotion to be able to introduce them to smoothing, to be able to, you're providing them benefits, you're also providing them, solutions to problems they may be having. And then you just have your salon name on there and your salon phone number, okay? Here's your post that you're gonna do continuously now for the next 30 days, okay? You're gonna put it up on your website. You're gonna make sure the front desk knows it. You're gonna make sure your stylists know this. If there was a price off or another incentive, then you would add that to it, okay? But that's an example of how simple a campaign can be. I want you to think about one campaign that you're willing to do in order to increase sales over the next 30 days. So this will be a conversation I'll have with you in our October sessions, to be able to look at what is going to be that strategy you're going to do to increase sales for the next 30 days to bring in more money. All right, guys, that's our session for today. If you want to download the ebook for this, and then again, remember, next week is going to be the opportunity for you to watch the session, okay? And we're going to focus in on operations next week, all right? So download the ebook, get some ideas, see how you can rebuild your business and start to implement internal and external strategy in the sales category. So you can download it now right here at, go to my website, bonniebonadeo.com. But you'll need to do this whole link in there because you're not going to be able to find it just going onto the website. You'll have to do the link. So do the https://www.bonniebonadeo.com/50 or backslash 50-ways-to-save-your-salon. And I'll have it here, and I'll post this on the site as well when I post this session for you too, so that you guys can download the book and check it out and see what are some other ways that you can save your salon as well. All right, we'll talk to you guys next week, or if I have calls with you this week, I look forward to being on the call with you this week.